All right, Mr. Jessie Harris. My name is Owen Brooks. I'm with the Smith Robertson Museum, and we're doing our oral history project this morning with Mr. Jessie Harris from Jackson. And Mr. Harris, do I have your permission to do this interview?
Right.
Good, sir. I'm going to ask you one more time. My tape wasn't on. Mr. Harris, do I have your permission to do this interview?
Right.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Jessie Harris. Mr. Harris, where were you born, and what year were you born?
Well, I was born in Jackson.
Born in Jackson?
Jackson, Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
1940.
1940. January 1940. All right, sir. And your father and mother? Your father's name?
My father, Isaac Harris.
Isaac?
Yeah, he was born in South Carolina.
All right.
Charleston, South Carolina.
Charleston. Okay, Isaac Harris. He was from Charleston, South Carolina.
That's right.
Charleston, South Carolina. And your mother?
My mother was Jessie Harris.
Your mother was Jessie Harris.
And she was Jessie Chatwood.
Jessie Chatwood?
She was born in Jackson.
In Jackson. Jackson, Mississippi.
Jackson, Mississippi.
All right. And let's see. How many sisters and brothers have you got, Mr. Harris?
There's 14.
14 of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was the fifth.
You were the fifth. How many boys, how many girls?
There were 5 boys and 7 girls. Well, let's tell you about it.
All right. Are they all living today?
No, my oldest brother and one of my sisters is deceased.
All right. Okay. And where did you begin school at, Mr. Harris?
I went to Mary C. Jones
Mary Jones.
Elementary School.
Mary Jones Elementary.
And I went to high school at Lanier High School.
All right, Mary Jones Elementary. Okay. And then Lanier. Did you graduate at Lanier?
Yeah, I graduated in Lanier in 1960.
In 1960. Okay, graduated in 1960. That's a good shot. All right. Let's see. Family of 14 children. And you went to school at Lanier? How was it at Lanier in your day when you were there?
Well, leading up to, when I first went to Lanier,
Mm-hmm.
in the 7th grade,
Yeah.
they just had started building the place. See, they moved Lanier from downtown over to where the present location it is now.
Okay.
Um,
And where is it located now?
It's located on Maple Street.
On Maple
It's a
Street.
section called
And
George.
prior to that, it was on what street?
Right, it was on, I think it was on I'm not sure. I had to go back with my history about it.
That's all right. Okay, it's okay if you don't remember, it's all right. Okay, but it moved to Maple Street in 19...
And 50, I think it's 54 or 55.
Oh, it moved to...
Yeah, when they built it.
All right.
That location.
Mm-hmm, Maple Street. All your brothers and sisters went to Lanier?
All my brothers, yeah, most all of us went to
Yeah.
Mary C. Jones went to Lanier.
All right. And let's see. What did your dad do for work?
My dad was a bricklayer.
Brick mason?
Yeah, brick mason.
All right.
He pretty much built houses
I see.
when I was at a young age.
Did your mom work at all?
Yeah, but she was more like a housewife.
Housewife.
Yeah.
All right.
And she worked in, as a maid. You know,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when you graduated high school in 1960, what did you have any form of employment? Did you have a job while you were in high school?
See, I worked with my father.
Oh, you worked with your father.
But when I was 9 years old,
Oh.
I worked with my. In fact, I learned a trade from by working with my father. You know. That's the kind of work I do now.
Uh-huh.
I work on houses,
Mm-hmm.
masonry work, carpentry.
Building.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I went to school, and I took a building trade.
Okay.
And I took the subject of this.
Mhm.
And I just, continued on,
Mhm.
you know.
All right. Now, let's see. How did you get, give me your first experience with segregation, if you can remember it,
Well,
or discrimination, or your first, your earliest exposing
I
to
can remember.
racism?
I can remember one time that my parents or my mother took me to downtown on
Mhm.
Farish Street.
All right.
We were going shopping,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew, I knew there was a certain place that we can go into.
Right.
And on Farish Street, it's all black, and the Capitol Street, which is the main street in downtown Jackson,
Mhm.
was all white.
All white.
Black people go there and shop.
Mm-hmm.
And see, as we expand and going on Farish Street, and going on Capitol Street, going in these, places.
Yes, sir.
It was obvious. You could see,
Uh-huh.
that like they had the water fountain there. You had the signs for the bathroom.
Yes.
You had the signs for the at the restaurant. You had the sign that designate, color as white.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was obvious.
You're right.
What you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to go.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Now, were you aware when the first Freedom Riders came here in 1960?
when I graduated from high school,
Mm-hmm.
I went to a community meeting.
Mm.
I was recruited, by James Bevel.
By Bevel?
Yeah,
Okay.
who worked for the Southern Christian Leadership Council.
Right. Mm-hmm.
At the time, Bevel was working for CORE,
All right.
and I was asked to participate in what they call, or to go down to the Trailway bus station.
Mm-hmm.
To meet the people coming in on the bus.
Oh,
A
okay.
group of people coming in from Birmingham,
Uh-huh.
on the bus. What they were doing, they were protesting
Mm-hmm.
the bus terminal, the Trailway bus descent.
Okay.
The bus station.
Okay, that's how you got introduced to that.
Yeah, and I met them
Mhm.
at the bus station.
You met him at the bus station.
And so when they got off the bus, I went in with the group going into the white section.
Mm-hmm.
And the group going into what they call the black section in the back. The whites were going in there, and the blacks were going into what's called the white section. We went in to purchase a ticket.
Oh, in the station?
Yeah.
In the bus
In
station?
the bus station. See, our objective is to go and ask, you know, to see what they sell us a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to New Orleans. And the police came to the bus station, you know, and asked us to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And we refused to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And upon asking him why we got to leave, he said, if you don't leave, I'm out of place, you're under arrest.
Mm-hmm.
Once he placed us, we refused to leave, he placed us under arrest.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked, what was the charge? And he said, you charged with breach of the peace.
Who?
Breach of the peace. That means
Breaching the peace, yes. Okay.
That means that I breached somebody's peace.
Exactly.
Not a mere fact.
Disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
That's right.
Not disturbing the peace, but breaching the peace.
Breaching the peace. Okay.
That means that something.
And you were arrested?
Yeah, I was arrested, you know. And most everybody who was in the station, who was on the project called Freedom Ride, was arrested for that same charge.
Okay.
We was arrested and they sent us to county jail. And from the county jail, they transferred us to Parchment.
To where?
To Parchment.
Parchment.
That's the state
Penitentiary.
state penitentiary. And they gave me an opportunity to meet people.
Mm-hmm.
And it also gave us an opportunity to discuss,
Mm-hmm.
to have some, you know, have some discussion about what we were going to do
Exactly.
once we leave Parchment.
Uh-huh.
The kind of project that was going to take place.
Mm-hmm.
And after I was released,
How long did they keep you?
well, they kept me there 45 days.
You stayed in Parchment 45 days?
Some people stayed 30 days, some people stayed 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
They had the process of releasing people in this time.
Mm-hmm. 45 days.
And because of my 45-day stay, I was able to, like I said before, during that time we was there,
Yeah.
we participated in discussions, and I was meeting people, and
Mm-hmm.
people that have been involved in this struggle
Uh-huh.
for numbers of years. People like James Farmer, people like Miss Ella Baker, people like Stokely Cottonmouth,
Mhm.
which came along.
Were they in there with you?
Yeah, like
Ella Baker and
John
Stokely?
Lewis,
Okay.
Jim Farmer,
Foreman?
yeah, Farmer, Cole, Jim Farmer.
Yeah. James Farmer?
Yeah, James
Okay.
Farmer. And Ivan O'Donis and Chuck McDougal. People who later that
Mhm.
worked with.
Okay, Chuck McDougal.
Yeah.
All right. How were you treated in Parchment?
Well, we were treated different from the regular, inmate, regular prison.
Mm-hmm.
We treated them because of the fact, that we were placed there.
Yeah,
We were
right.
sent there to. Because the jailhouse here was crowded, so we had to have a place to take us.
Mm-hmm.
So when they took us to Parchment, they had made arrangements, to accommodate all these people.
Mm.
There was a lot of people.
Do you know how many went in there with you when you went in?
People constantly coming in.
Oh, people were constantly
Yeah.
coming
See,
in.
when the bus came to Jackson.
Yeah. Was that a full bus?
That was a full bus.
That was a full, so there was about 40
Right.
people on that one, right?
Right, about 40 people.
Uh-huh.
There was another bus came in.
Okay.
Out of that. The bus would constantly coming in to Jackson. And plus you had people, from Mississippi
Right.
who was coming. People from Jackson who came in to participate.
Mhm. Okay. And you finally got out, you were finally released on bond, right?
We bonded out, and after we were Barney and I, we came to the Masonic Temple.
Okay.
That's on that street.
You went to a meeting at the Masonic Temple?
Right.
Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
See, in fact, when everybody was released from Parchment and Hines County and the county farm, it was all, everybody came to the Masonic Temple because that was our headquarters. That was sort of like an office place.
You're right.
You know, where people would come and get information on terms of when they were, you know, on their charges, you know.
All right.
When they were leaving, you know, make arrangements to leave, you know.
Make arrangements to leave Jackson?
Yeah, and come back, you know,
Oh,
try.
okay. Uh-huh. All right. Did they have any mass meetings there while you were there?
You know, but that's what the place where we had community mass meetings.
At the Masonic
At
Temple?
the Masonic Temple.
Okay.
And we also had community mass meetings in various churches around the city.
Oh, all right. Okay. And do you remember what churches were involved?
College Grove,
Okay.
Mount Zion,
Okay.
Mount Olive,
Mount
Mount Olive Baptist Church.
Okay.
And you see in the city you had very few churches that open the door for, to our support.
Right.
And later, you know, masses of churches in the community began to get involved.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And here in Jackson, who was sort of directing the activities?
Well, you had Core.
Okay,
Yeah,
Core was here.
See, Core was actually responsible for the project what they call Freedom Ride.
Right, right.
Yeah, Diane Nash.
Diane Nash.
And James Bevel. And Tom Gayton. James Farmer. Brian Ruskin.
Larry Russell.
Brian Ruskin, yeah. There's just a lot of people, you know.
Okay. All right. Okay, and where'd you go from there, Jess?
I was participating in a lot of discussion,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I was asked by James Farmer of SNCC.
Uh-huh.
See, SNCC had a lot of people, representatives on that Freedom Ride.
Good.
I was asked by Farmer to, would I be willing to go to a conference in Atlanta, to a SNCC.
All right.
From that,
Foreman invited you to that?
yeah.
Okay.
And from that, then I got familiar with the SNCC program. And I began to meet people that, you know, other people who worked on SNCC as a staff person. And I was put on,
So you went to the Atlanta conference? All right. Okay. And what was the purpose of that?
the conference was it was called to discuss a voter registration project in the South.
All right.
I participated in that discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I decided that I was going to work in Mississippi, in Greenwood, in the Delta, with the Mississippi director, Bob Moses, who was director of the SNCC project in Mississippi at the time.
Right. So you joined the SNCC project in Greenwood?
Well, I joined the SNCC project here in Jackson.
Oh, here in Jackson.
Yeah. And I went to Greenwood to work on voter registration with other staff.
Mm-hmm.
People like Cotton, Charles Mike Lawrence,
Okay.
Emma Bell from Macomb. So we all left Jackson
Yeah.
and moved the project up in Greenwood.
Up the Greenwood.
To start the voter registration project.
And what were you assigned to do in Greenwood, voter registration?
And voter registration, community protest, direct action program.
Okay, remember what year that was?
That was in '62.
62. 1962. Okay. And who was in charge in Greenwood?
It was local people
Mm-hmm.
who had the responsibility of organizing the voter registration and other direct action programs.
Right.
Sam Block,
Sam Buck.
and Willie Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
See, our effort there, our work there was to give them support.
Yes.
Work right along with them.
Uh,
And they were, sort of like our contact people. In Greenwood. People who have been who have been working there before. So we went there to assist, to work with them.
mm-hmm.
And later they became a snake staff person.
Okay. All right. Now, I heard you went to Macomb. At what point did you go to Macomb?
That was years later. I mean, that was, see, I went to Ruleville
Okay.
along with Charles Mike Lawrence.
You went to Ruleville with
Yeah,
Charlie?
with Charles
Okay.
and James Jones. We was assigned to Sunflower County.
Oh.
James Jones and Charles Mike Lawrence, myself. And we set up a project in Ruleville.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed in Ruleville, and I went to Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Bolivar County, Washington County, Bolivar County.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed, I worked there for a period of time.
Uh-huh. With Amity?
With Anthony Moore, James Velvet, Diane. In fact, Slick had a Freedom House.
Mm-hmm.
See, everywhere we went,
Yeah.
the project that we worked on, we set up what they call a Freedom
Freedom
House.
House.
A house that where we stayed, where we had our, that we used as an office place.
Mm-hmm. Was Lee Bankhead there then? Lee was there?
Lee Bankhead.
Mhm.
That's here.
Yeah. Oh, Lee. Yeah. She passed, you know. She passed some years ago.
Yeah. Miss
Her
Ann-
mother lived in Cleveland a long time. Yeah. I used to go see her mother all the time. She was right there in Cleveland.
Yeah, I worked
I haven't heard from her in a few years.
uh,
But I interviewed her in '96 in Cleveland. Lee's mother.
oh yeah.
Mm. Yeah, Mrs. Bankhead. Okay, and how long, did you stay there for any length of time in Cleveland?
Off and on.
Off and on?
You
or
see,
back
we
and
were
forth?
working Ruleville, working
Okay.
Cleveland, we were working Clarksdale.
Clarksdale?
Yeah.
Oh, you went to Clarksdale
Yeah,
too?
yeah. On the direction of Aaron Henry.
Who?
Aaron Henry.
Aaron Henry.
Yeah, who was
Mhm.
president of NAACP statewide.
Yes.
We went there to assist him in his program. So in fact, we were right all over the Delta. I was,
Mhm.
a lot of projects. In Ena Bena, Mississippi.
Get a beanie?
Belzone, Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
riding on Mississippi. In fact, we were like a mobile.
Right.
You know, we were like
Traveling all over.
Yeah,
Why not? Yeah. Okay. Now, then you stayed in the Delta for approximately how long, Jesse?
Well, I stayed in the Delta from 62
Mm-hmm.
till 64.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I came to Jackson, came back to Jackson.
Came back to Jackson?
To work with what we called, we had formed the Federation of Southern, we formed COFO.
Copo.
Yeah.
Came back to Jackson to work with Copo?
We were forming.
Oh,
we were
organizing.
beginning to organize it.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And I served as a representative of SNCC to that organization in the Jackson area.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I was a district director of the 3rd Congressional District.
Okay.
I was assigned to work within the 3rd Congressional District.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Vicksburg, Natchez, Macomb. And I went to Macomb to set up the district office. The district projects.
Okay. Vicksburg, Natchez, and Macomb. Did you have occasion to travel to those towns like Natchez and Vicksburg?
That was my job.
That was your job
That was
to
my
go?
responsibility.
I see.
To set up projects,
And
voter
Vicksburg,
registration
Natchez.
projects and all of those.
Okay.
And that is to go in and make contact with people
Mm-hmm.
and encourage them to work with the program.
Alright. So you met the local people in those areas and you helped them set up voter registration projects, right?
Right.
Okay. And you spent, let me see, you were there till 64.
From 64 until 66, for 2 years.
Oh, okay. Alright. $1966. Okay. Yeah, because I mentioned Cleveland in 65, but I had a little headquarters up there.
See, I was mobile all over the state.
Mm-hmm.
I set up a project.
Yeah.
Because the project was already in Macomb.
Mm-hmm.
Macomb
Yeah.
project. The Macomb project started right after the Freedom Ride. Some people from Macomb
Yeah.
participated in the Freedom Ride. That was in 1961.
Mm-hmm.
And so the project started in Macomb when Bob Moses and other people that worked with SNCC
Yeah.
went down to Hattiesburg, went down to Macomb, and went over to Amen County.
Mm-hmm.
See, they were already. And so when I went to Macomb, I went to, as a director of the project there, from the Freedom Summer.
Right.
See, the Freedom Summer project was an extension of a program that give us, to give us support in terms of the work that we were doing, in the
Mhm.
60s. I mean, in 63.
In 60, yeah.
Yeah. We felt that we need some kind of, we need help, we we need finance, we need national attention, we need support from all over the country, you know, because of to support our program and the state that we're doing.
Okay.
So I was elected to be the director for the McCollum project.
Say that again.
I was elected to be
The director of Macomb?
of the McCollum project.
All right. All right.
See, all of that came out from
Who all were the local people involved in Macomb there?
Miss Quinn,
Ms. Grant?
Curtis Hayes,
Uh-huh.
Bobby Terry, the Martin family,
Who'd you say?
Martin family, Teresa Martin, Jones Martin, James Martin,
Okay. Mhm.
Reverend Johnson,
Which Reverend Johnson was that?
that's Reverend C.L. Johnson.
C.L. Johnson.
And Reverend Bowie,
Mhm.
who came later.
He came later on.
Yeah, with the Delta, with the National Council of Churches representative from New Jersey. When he was in New Jersey,
Right.
he came to Macomb and set up he was director of the National Council of Churches project
Mhm. Mhm.
in support of the work that we were doing.
Okay, let's see. Okay, the Martin family and Miss Quinn and, let's see.
Hollis Whiteman, Curtis Hayes.
Was Hollis there?
Hollis came, yeah. See, Hollis was on Snake Staff. Curtis was on Snake Staff. Most everybody on Snake Staff, they was like mobile.
Mhm.
We was all over the state. Yeah, we go in and set up projects,
Mhm.
organize community committees. You know, in other words, we organize community leadership.
Right.
And then we leave and go to another area.
Now, were you in on the planning of the summer project?
Right.
Yeah, explain. Tell me a little about that. Just what happened there?
Right. See, the summer project basically was to get support on the work that we were doing on a national level.
Mhm.
So we had groups. SNCC had groups in the north, all over, in fact, all over the country.
French groups, yeah.
Friends of SNCC. And we asked to recruit students from various college campuses around the state.
Mhm.
They come to take time out, and, when they're schooling, they come to Mississippi to work work on projects in Mississippi.
Mhm.
So I went to Miami, Ohio, at the University of
For the orientation
yeah,
session.
for the orientation center. From that, we had sort of like a training session for the students from that area to come to Mississippi. And so I participated with that.
Mhm.
Participated in when the students came here. I participated in.
How did you feel about the students coming?
Well, we needed support.
You needed support.
Our effort, what we were doing, it was a small group of us, SNCC
Mhm.
people and the
Right.
people that we recruited from the community. We stayed in and out of jail. We were constantly being arrested, constantly being stopped and passing out handbills. And we needed help.
You needed help.
We needed help. Actually, I went to a lot of black colleges.
Yeah.
Morehouse, went to Mississippi Valley State, I went to Jackson State, I went to Alcorn. I went
You visited those
trying to
campuses?
recruit students who was for the summer,
Uh-huh.
you know,
64.
64. Students who, you know, instead of, you know, for their break, you know, the spring break, or whatever they got, instead of going home, is to come to Mississippi. Instead of going to the Peace Corps, instead of going to, you know, is to come to Mississippi and help us out, you know, in that manner. We needed help.
Okay.
Fortunately, we got a lot of white students from every college campus volunteer their time to come down and work with me. It gave them a chance to get some experience and working at this time.
Was there much resentment? I heard there was resentment on the part of some staff people, right? As it regarded students from up north, particularly white students from up north coming into Mississippi in '64. Were you aware of that?
With my experience of meeting, you know, at the orientation,
Mm-hmm.
my experience is that, you know, a lot of white students didn't believe that that black people in the South, especially Mississippi,
Yeah.
didn't have the right to vote. They believed that that everybody had the right to vote in the United States.
Right.
People being denied the right to vote based on, you know, because of the fact that they were black.
Mhm.
And that they had to pass Mississippi. Mississippi has a law. In order to be a registered voter, you had to pass a law. And that law was in conflict with the United States law.
Good.
And so
So you think-
that was their first time having that experience.
Yeah.
So
You thought it was a good thing.
that's one of the.
Uh-huh. So you thought it was a good thing for the students to
Yeah.
come from
Yeah.
northern colleges, from the north,
Right.
into Mississippi in 1964.
And experience.
Mm-hmm.
And see for themselves. See, I was hoping that a number of black students could be a part of that program, but
Uh-huh.
unfortunately, we didn't have that. But we had majority of the students that came here was, you know, from the white community.
Okay. All right. Now, were you all over during that summer, or were you stationed in any one particular place
I was stationed in Macomb.
for the summer project?
Summer project.
Okay.
I was stationed in Macomb, Vicksburg, Natchez, the area which I was responsible for,
Mhm.
Jackson, Meridian.
Were you there when the 3 civil rights workers were killed in Macomb?
I was here in Jackson.
You were here in Jackson when that?
No, in fact, I was at an orientation. See,
Oh, okay.
Cheney, Goodman. See, Cheney is from Meridian. Goodman and Swan, when they came,
Mhm.
they came before. See, I was in Ohio
Okay.
when I heard that.
When you heard it.
You know. But it was already assigned to the Philadelphia Meridian area.
Uh-huh.
They assigned. They came with Swain Goodman, they came with the first group, first volunteer group. And see, the recruiting area was steady going on when they were,
Yeah.
when they were kids.
Okay. All right. Where were you when Vernon Daniel was killed? You remember that?
Vernon Daniel was killed in Macomb, right?
Hattiesburg.
Hattiesburg. I wasn't there. No. See,
Were you in the state?
The project, yeah, I was in the state.
You were in the state?
In fact, I was here in Jackson.
Oh, okay.
You see.
All right. I was thinking about. Okay, let's see now. Cheney, Goodman, Shannon. And you were you said you were in Ohio when they got killed.
Right.
And then you came back to Jackson from Ohio, right? And you went to Macomb,
Right.
right?
You see, when they, see, Swanee, Goodman, and Cheney was invited to come to Atlanta to a conference.
Oh, okay.
See, they didn't come directly to Mississippi. Cheney was already here. You see, Swanee and Goodman came to a conference in Atlanta.
Okay.
To work on a snake project,
Mm-hmm.
which was a part of freedom song. And so Cheney went back to Meridian,
Mm-hmm.
where he found, to set up a project for the voter registration project for the freedom song.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
And Goodman and Cheney was working on it as a slick staff person.
Mm. Okay.
See, they was on the slick staff. Setting up, making preparation for the students that come into the state.
Okay.
to work.
All right.
So,
Now you were here in Jackson.
yeah.
You were
I
here?
was here all over the state.
Oh, okay. All right.
In fact.
When you came from Ohio.
Yeah.
You started
See, when I went to Ohio, I went as a staff,
Mm-hmm.
to do the rotation.
Right.
To help out, bring the students back to the state.
Okay. All right.
See, most all of us had left the projects that we were assigned to, that we were working on,
Mm-hmm.
to go and do orientation
In Ohio.
in Ohio. Not on Ohio, but some people went to Atlanta. Some people went to New York. Some people went to Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, some people went to California.
Love.
You know. Those people that went to the various places to
Mhm.
do orientation, right? You know,
Okay.
like recruiting.
Thank you.
For the summer project.
I get you there. But you spent most of that summer in Macomb.
Yeah.
In Macomb.
Macomb and Jackson.
Okay, Macomb and Jackson. All right. After the summer was over, what happened?
After the summer was over, we had a series of meetings in Atlanta, SNCC. The organization we were debating about what direction the organization was going.
Okay. Okay.
The kind of project and program, and how we gonna continue the work that we started with the Summer Project and the forming of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. And,
You did not go to Atlantic City.
yeah,
You did?
yeah. I was,
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Well, Atlanta City, that's a part.
Did you help to organize the delegation to go to Atlantic City?
You see, the forming of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party
Mm-hmm.
came out of the effort, the effort that Lawrence Gion and other SNCC people,
Yeah.
and local people
Mm-hmm.
that was, and the summer project people,
Yeah.
was a part of that organizing effort.
Okay.
You see, putting that organization together, that project program, organizing free election.
The FTP.
In the local and the state,
Uh-huh.
a free election. Organizing precinct, delegates,
Right.
local county
Caucuses and all of that.
caucus and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That was the effort. That was a part
You were involved in that?
Yeah, that was a part of the Freedom Summit.
Mhm.
The students that came, that was part of their effort. They had put that whole organization together.
Mm-hmm.
Not only Mississippi Freedom Democratic, but the Poor People Corporation.
Right.
You see, we needed, like I said before, we needed support. See, in '62, when we started out in the Delta to organize voter registration, we needed not only local support, we need national support.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that we try to put together, Freedom Summit.
Mm.
The students want to come in and give us help. And once they was here, then we came up, we had a series of projects, programs that we were on. And all that stuff.
Now, the delegation
I'm trying to
to,
remember.
the delegation to Atlantic City.
Uh,
The delegation to Atlantic City.
yeah, the delegation of Atlanta City was put together by people with the Freedom Summit,
The staff people in the local communities, they organized the delegation.
Snake staff.
Mm-hmm.
We worked along with the local NAACP, Harry Henry, Harry Henry, who was president of the NAACP, Maggie Edwards, who was secretary of NAACP. Core with Nita Blackwell, who was the representative of Core.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Southern Christian Leadership Conference in Greenwood.
Okay.
And so that challenge in Atlantic City,
Right.
and that whole program, the whole party, Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party was because of the effort that came out of the Summer Project.
Mm-hmm. I got it.
And so I was there.
Yeah.
We got on the bus and went up there. And my impression was for the organization to be recognized.
Good.
I had some doubt. In fact, I knew they weren't going to recognize it.
Yeah, I heard you say that. Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah, a lot of people did.
a lot of people were surprised. They thought there was democracy in the United States. And once they found out when Johnson
Yeah.
made that compromise, so my impression just to look at people and say, not to say that I told you so, but I hope you learned something from that experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, when you came back from Atlantic City, Jess, that was August of '64, I think. Yeah, I think it was. Where did you go?
I went to Vicksburg.
After Atlantic City.
After Atlantic City.
You went to
I went
Vicksburg?
to Vicksburg to organize,
Oh,
to
okay.
work with the Warren County Community Association.
Mm-hmm.
Along with Dr. Shirley,
Cool.
Dr. Shirley.
Is that right?
Dr. Shirley.
With Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went there, he wanted to set up a voter registration project.
Uh-huh.
And he came over to Jackson, and he asked, for some people from the snake
Mm-hmm.
to come over and work with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I got with Miss Ella Baker, who was in town at the time. And I asked her, would she mind going over? And Miss Baker was sort of our.
She was what?
Miss Baker was, she was very active in putting together the student unemployment program.
Uh-huh.
Miss Baker been around.
Did she go to Vicksburg?
We rode
She
over,
went?
Yeah, we rode over there together.
Mm.
And we met.
Who'd you meet with?
We met with Eric, the Warren County Community Association.
Oh.
And everything, Eric Henry, Dr. Shirley was president at the time.
Mm.
And after that meeting, some way, somehow, I made a commitment that I was going to stay, that I was going to come back and help out with their project.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. I committed myself.
You committed yourself?
That was right after the summer project.
Yeah, right.
So I set up shop in Vicksburg.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And that's where, when I stayed there about 6 months, 6 or 7 months, and came back to Jackson. And that's when I started working with the Papa program.
You started doing what?
Working
With who?
the anti-poverty program.
Oh.
CDG and
Your CDG,
the Head Start. The Head Start.
Uh-huh. Okay. Who'd you leave in charge at Vicksburg?
Dr. Shirley.
Dr. Shirley? Is that right?
Dr. Shirley.
Mm.
You see, my effort, my work there was to get young people involved in community activity, along with the community association. The community association had a problem with not getting local people involved in their program. They had a voter registration program 100 years ago in that area. When they were first formed, they always had a vote. They had very few, professional teachers, lawyers, doctors. They the only people who were registered to vote.
Right.
My job was to involve the whole community into their program that they set up.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I put together a SNCC project there.
Where?
Freedom House. I set up a Freedom House.
Where?
In Vicksburg.
Oh, in Vicksburg?
Yeah.
Okay.
It started, they got people in the community, especially young people, got them involved. When I got arrested in Vicksburg for being a troublemaker,
Yeah.
the student, the young people that I got involved in passing out handbills, they come into the house, Freedom House,
Mm-hmm.
they organized a big, demonstration.
They organized a big demonstration?
Yeah, something like
When they put you in jail?
Yeah,
Yeah.
about 2 or 3 thousand people marching down road Jones Street in Vicksburg to the courthouse. The protesters, like, police picked me up for agitating, or whatever. They had a charge like contributing to the delinquency of the mob.
Oh, yeah.
They had charges like the same charge that I had when I was arrested here in Jackson. I've been arrested here in Jackson about 15, 20, you know.
Yeah,
A number
many
of
times. Many
Yeah,
times.
for all kinds of charges.
Mhm.
And,
Who got you out of jail in Vicksburg?
the legal defense. See, the NAACP legal defense.
Busy what?
NAACP, legal defense.
Oh, legal defense fund. Okay.
And the lawyers committee.
Yeah.
See, all of this, all of this came out of the freedom zone, you know.
Right.
Everybody committed themselves to come to the state during the summer of '64. The lawyers committee, for civil rights, the lawyers committee, presidential lawyers committee on civil rights. Even the Justice Department had an office here in Jackson, you know, for the freedom zone. Even the FBI had an office, instead of a special office here in Jackson for the freedom zone. See, all these resources came in, all these people came in, and so when they came, we tried to utilize them, you know, we tried to put people in place.
Okay, all right. So you left Vicksburg, came back to Jackson, and what happened then?
And I worked with the Head Start program.
Oh, Head Start, yeah.
I became area administrator for the
Area administrators.
Child Development Group of Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
And my office was to be in Greenwood. Or back to Greenwood.
Back in Greenwood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my job was to administrate a number of centers in the second, in that area.
Mm-hmm.
That's Greenwood, Belzone, Wydenona.
Mm. Area administrator. Okay, and so that made you travel around a little bit around that part of the Delta, right?
Yeah, because
What are the towns you?
Greenwood, at the headquarters in
Yeah,
Greenwood.
Greenwood, yeah.
And I worked out of Wydenona
Wyoming,
and Charleston,
Charleston.
Mississippi, yeah.
Okay.
Enderby,
Kennedy, yeah.
Enderby, Belzone, and Cleveland.
Do I have bills in? No, I didn't have bills
See, and all those, that we was able to set up a Head Start centers.
Yeah, right.
You know, there.
Mhm. In churches primarily, right?
To feed the children, make sure they get medical attention and
Mhm.
decent food, and their parents have decent place to stay. You know, trying to utilize the whole federal farming program.
You had Mount Bayou too,
Yeah,
didn't
we
you?
had Mount Bayou.
Yeah.
And actually, in fact, I worked along with the social service program. So we had people who worked with SNCC came in to work with CDGL.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of those people, said, a lot of us didn't have no income.
You were the ones what? Didn't have,
A lot of us didn't have any income.
didn't have any income?
Right.
Okay,
So
right.
we were working with SNCC in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
We were making $9, you know, $9, $10 an hour. I mean, a week. We needed some funds to, you know.
Okay. And that took you through till 1966?
That, yeah, to 1966, 66, 67,
Okay.
67, 68.
60, oh, 67, 68?
68, yeah.
Where were you on the Meredith March?
At Meredith March, I was Greenwood.
You in Greenwood?
See? When Mary got shot,
Uh-huh.
when Mary got shot,
Yeah.
there was a meeting called in Memphis.
I went to that meeting.
You was there?
I was there.
I said,
Yep.
so I was working with CDJN.
Mhm.
When they organized that march,
Mhm.
to contend that march,
Mhm. We went to the hospital to see Meredith,
yeah.
Dr. King and Stokely, and,
Okay.
and the corps director, what's his name? God, I can't think of his name. I can see him right now, I can't think of his name. Well, we went to see him. Yeah, some more of us. Okay, so you were in
Greenwood.
Greenwood.
When
Okay.
the march got to Greenwood, see, I understand
Yeah.
the whole purpose of the march,
Yeah, right.
you know, and the kind of work that needs to be done
Uh-huh.
to support the march.
Yeah.
You see, and it was decided that the march, see, you people, you know, when y'all was there.
Yeah. We had the meeting and said that we were gonna do voter registration off the
And
month.
snake people.
And have meetings
Yeah.
along the route.
And encourage people to become registered voters
Mhm.
on a mass scale.
Exactly.
That was the whole purpose, to
Yeah.
demonstrate to the people,
Mhm.
to tell them what Mary started off, to
Right.
march against me.
Exactly.
Now, when the march got to Greenwood, I had already, everybody that worked under my supervision
Mhm.
of the Child Development Group, which was a funded program, which you cannot participate in any political organized organization
Oh, I know.
doing, if you work for Child Development Group.
Right. You weren't supposed to.
You wasn't supposed. So when the march was in Greenwood, when they got to Greenwood, which started, I got a lot of people from CDG and under my supervision to go and participate. So I had a conflict with the board of directors, you know,
Yeah.
with the administrator about that.
Mhm.
So, Jessie Harris, you do not supposed to participate in no demonstration or no organization during that time. I said, I didn't do it
Yeah.
in the daytime,
Uh-huh.
on my time.
Mhm.
I did it after 5 o'clock. So you can't tell me what I could do. So we had a conflict. But did you write this letter, this memo to the people that you supervise, that they should go out and support them? Did you write that letter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote that. Because you had a copy of it. But that's a violation. That's one of the conflicts that I had. I was able to resolve that.
Mhm.
When the march got to, I think they had a break somewhere. The march, so some people left the march and went to Selma to participate on
Okay,
you
yeah.
know, participate on some other.
Mhm.
Was it Selma?
Some, well,
Yeah, some people went there, like Stokely to the snakes, some of the snake people over there.
yes.
And then they came back and they started the march somewhere along Yazoo City. And when the march got to Yazoo City, coming into Jackson,
Mhm.
and they were coming down State Street, you know, the march was started off small, they got large, and then it ended up real small. Then when it got to Jackson, then it got large.
Yeah, from Tougaloo.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah. I was there.
And
Yeah.
I was here at a CDGM, my regular meeting,
Mhm.
you know, with the staff here. And I'm in there, in the room. And we discussed about the program, you know. So I left the meeting,
Mhm.
you know. I'm going for a lunch break. I left the meeting, came back. When I came back to the meeting, just, you know, you were supposed to working with that Head Start program.
I don't know.
I was doing it because I needed the money. It pays $125 a week plus expenses. And at that time,
Yeah.
that was pretty good salary.
That was pretty good money. Yeah.
Plus my traveling and so forth.
Oh, yes, I remember. Yep. Stokely and Ricks and Greenwood and Black Power and the meeting up in Yazoo City after that. Oh, yeah. Well, anyhow, yep. And now, let's see. I remember the two staff, the core staff and, no, it was the SCLC staff and the SNCC staff met at Alan Johnson's church with the SCLC preacher, what was his name? Jose Williams.
Jose
That's it,
Williams.
yeah. They had a big blowout in the church in Jackson. You don't remember that?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I know. Charles Avenue there. Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. You see, you see, after Mega was killed,
Mm-hmm.
63, right? That was 63. when Mega.
63.
Yeah, he was assassinated. Charles, his brother, was working in Chicago as a DJ.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of other things.
Whatever. But when he came to Jackson, it was natural for him to make a statement about his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And since Charles was a DJ, you know, and when he made that statement,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it would take, you know, it was obvious that he was going to pick up where his brother left off at. As local, he became local president, the local chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And then he became the secretary because of his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as from, you know, as a part of the COFOR organization, we want to continue that, which came out of the Freedom Summer.
You're right.
We want to continue the Freedom Democratic Party, which came out of the Freedom Summer, and the poor people, all those organizations that we started during the Freedom Summer. We want to continue them. But we had a series of meetings here in Jackson, you know, with various organizations to contribute so we can continue.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Willie Rich came to Jackson. We had a big mass meeting at this church. And Willie Rich got up and said, "Now, we got a lot of stool pictures in here. We got a lot of Toms in here. We got a lot of people run back and tell white folks what we talking about, what we doing. And I'm going to point them out." Everybody said, Rick said, "You want me to point him out?" Rick threw his hand up and said, "You want me to point him out?"
Yeah.
Everybody point him out. Rick said, "I'm going to tell you what I'm going to point him." His hand went from, he went around to the ministers. His hand went around the child there and stopped. And then the child jumped up. "You can't identify me being no sellout, no Tom." Yeah, I can remember that incident. You know, like,
Yeah. Yes, yes,
that's
yes.
when Rich came to Jackson and worked with us for a while too. See, the whole project, from the Freedom Ride all the way to the Freedom Summer, started here in Jackson. You know, it came out of, after the Freedom Ride, it ended. It's supposed to end in New Orleans, but it started here. It ended here in Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my involvement. That when I got my athletic education started when I was in high school.
Mm.
when I was asked to do a paper
Yeah.
on the current event,
On what?
on the current event.
Current event?
Yeah, I was asked to do that. That's when I was in 11th grade. I was asked. No, I was in 9th grade. I was asked to do that. Then I did this on the material too.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that paper. I got it out of Jet magazine, you know, out of
Right.
the newspaper, and took it to my class. And got suspended for bringing it in, you know.
Oh, really?
To the class.
You got suspended for bringing it to the class?
Yeah, I got suspended, got a D, a F,
Yeah.
and suspended
Oh, Lord.
because I didn't suppose to bring in that kind of.
Who was the principal then? Yes.
You know, Buckley.
Buckley?
Yeah,
Buckley?
Buckley. It was,
You're kidding.
I ain't talking
His
about.
picture right up on the wall there.
Oh,
You see it?
Yeah. What are you talking about, Buckley?
Buckley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buckley was principal here for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's what I.
And then he was at Lanier. He was the principal at Lanier.
He had a very strict thing with his staff, you know, with his staff that up in there. I mean, you know, like, I went to Lanier right after I was released from the freedom ride. You know, I released from Ponce.
Yeah, right.
They had, you know, to continue the program.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
right after Mega got killed, I went back to Lanier and recruit students from March.
Oh.
From Lanier all the way down to the
Mhm.
county. And Buckley was the principal there.
Mm.
When he saw me,
Mm-hmm.
he always said, just, you know, keep up the good work.
He would say that to you?
He'll say that to me. But, you know,
Keep up the good work.
yeah, I wish I could have helped you, you know, but
Yeah.
my hands are tied.
His hands are tied.
You know, I sympathize with you know.
Mr. Butler.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
President Butler.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know him, but I met him at Central, the Methodist Church over there, when I moved to Jackson.
Yeah.
He and his wife been going there for years and years and years.
See, he couldn't do nothing to the school board.
Mm-hmm.
When he needed equipment,
Yeah.
you know, like his athletic program, when he needed uniform, band uniform, football uniform, basketball uniform,
Mm-hmm.
he had to take it the second hand. You know, but he was able to juggle and get new stuff. The only high school in the state, I mean, you know, in the city,
Mhm.
practically in the state, that he was able to get new stuff. He was
Mhm.
able to pull some string, you know, to get that done. I don't know if because of his professionalism or his personality, but he always, his staff was always strict. You know, like he could only teach them if any student miss a couple of days without reporting it to him.
Mhm.
You know, he was a good counselor. You know, he was sort of like a good counselor. But when it comes to the question of civil rights and stuff like that, participation, he
Yeah.
made it clear that he can't do that.
Tell me, Jess, did you go to school here?
No, I didn't.
You never went here?
No, I didn't go. I went to Memphis St. John.
Oh, okay. I know Jimmy said he went here for
Yeah.
it, okay.
This
So Buckley, was he the principal at Lanier all the time you were there?
all the time. He was the principal when I came.
Yeah, and when you left?
He was the principal when I left.
Oh, okay.
You see.
All right, 1960.
Yeah. See, I started school when I was 9 years old. My mama would send me when I was 6.
Oh, she wouldn't take it?
No, she wouldn't take me to school unless I go with my sister. My sister next to me.
Oh, okay.
So when she turned 6,
Yeah.
I was 8. I was 8
Yeah.
when she was 6.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went to school,
And you schooled with her?
yeah, we did everything together. My
Yeah.
mama always dressed me and
Yeah.
had me with her.
Mm-hmm. Your sister?
Yeah, we went, you know, sister, we're a year apart.
Oh, okay. Now, After 66, and 67, you stayed with Head Start, working for Head Start in those years?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were with People's Education Program? No?
No, I left, when I left CDG,
Yes.
I went to the Federation of Southern Co-op.
Oh, you went to Federation?
Yeah.
What year was that?
That was in 68.
68? Oh, okay, 1968.
68.
All right. And what did you go to work with them doing?
As
I can't hear you.
a organizer.
Organizer?
Co-op organizer, yeah, organizer.
Okay. Federation. Who was in charge then?
James Jordan. John Jordan, Father McKnight.
Father McKnight?
Remember Father McKnight?
Oh, yeah.
He was sort of like the director.
Yeah, right. He was a founder, sort of
he
founder.
founded, sort of like
Mhm.
founder. And James Jordan.
And you were based here in Jackson?
I was here in Jackson.
You were here in
Yeah,
Jackson?
here in Jackson. And
Yes.
then I moved with, and then I did some project with Poor People Cooperation with Jessie Harris.
With Jessie Harris?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you organize co-ops for Federation
Yeah,
here in Mississippi?
right here in Jackson.
Oh, right here in Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay. And you, did you work with Doris Derby and Jessie
Jessie.
on the Poor People's Court?
Yeah.
All right. And what was your responsibility there?
Well, basically, I was the organizer and I say or the director for the corporation.
All right. Okay. I interviewed Doris Derby.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. What was that guy's name, Jed, that died? Worked with Poor People's Court.
Oh, you talking about, well, Kirksey worked with Poor People Corporation.
Yeah, I know he did for a while. That ain't who I'm thinking. I'm talking about the guy, that young guy drove the truck.
Oh.
What was his name? I
Yeah,
can't think of his name. He passed.
What's his name? He passed recently?
Oh, no, it wasn't recent, quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, he came out on a field ride. He was doing Mega Evans. He was an organizer. He was organizing.
Uh-huh.
Demonstration, like direct action, you know.
For who?
You know, the demonstration, peaceful, nonviolent direct action, you know, the
Oh,
march,
okay.
demonstration to the courthouse.
Mhm.
You know, just sitting in at the park and the library and the lunch counter. He was part of that crew. See, the freedom ride was just a bus station.
Yeah.
And see, but when it ended here in Jackson, then we moved from the bus station to public accommodation, all public
Yeah.
facilities.
Right.
Golf course, the park, I went to the golf course, the courtroom, I was arrested in the courtroom for, you know, sitting on the wrong side of the courtroom.
Mm.
Yeah, he was a part of that. He was a part of
Can't
that.
call his name. I
But
don't
Jessie pulled him to work with the Poor People Corporation.
Yeah.
And he did a lot of maintenance stuff, like
Mhm.
trucks. Yeah, what's his name?
Then were you here when, what's the name, did the Black and Proud School?
Howard Spencer.
Howard Spencer.
Yeah, I helped him, you know.
Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah, he in Georgetown.
Yeah, in Georgia.
Yeah.
Right. Black and Proud School.
Right next to Mary C. Jones.
Yeah.
We was able to rent a house, a building, like a little storefront.
Mm-hmm.
We was able to rent that. And most of my nieces and nephews was a part of that Black and Brown School.
Is that right?
And my younger sister worked with Howard and Frank Figures.
Frank Figures.
Frank Figures and Walter.
Walter. John Walker.
Yeah, I think it's John Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He worked with Howard with that whole freedom school concept.
Mhm. Yeah, Howard was a good fellow. I was up at the Delta then.
Howard worked with,
I did get to know him.
yeah, Howard came here on the Freedom Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Came from Ohio. I mean, Atlanta.
From Atlanta,
Yeah.
64.
Yeah, 64. You know, he wanted the students from, he come over
Howard Spencer.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And stayed, you know.
Mhm.
He had a lot of people came to Freedom Summer. And they stayed.
Did you know Mo Kenyatta too?
Jomo Kenyatta, he came from Chester, Pennsylvania.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
He came to Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Went to Tulu.
He went to Tulu.
Yeah.
Then he worked with the project. He stayed here in Jackson and worked with me.
Uh-huh.
And he started working with the Federation of Southern
Don Jackson.
Yeah, Don Jackson.
Don Jackson. Yeah. He died, you know.
Yeah.
Did you know?
Yeah, I know him.
Oh. Yeah, Don Jackson. Yeah. Mm. His wife, I think, still teaches. And she teaches at the college in Pennsylvania. If I remember correctly, I haven't heard from her in years.
Mm.
But that, when after he left here and when they went back to
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I took him back.
You took him back?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I was going to, I was working with Friends of Charity
Oh, okay.
here in Jackson.
Here in Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was working out of Belzone. I was working out of Humphrey County.
Yeah.
And I was able to get Don Jackson to work the program with the project.
Mm.
And I had a disagreement with Fred.
With who?
Fred Mangan.
Oh, Fred Mangan. Oh, yeah.
He was director of Friends of Charity then.
Yeah, he sure was. Did you see him at the conference?
Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah. He came.
Yeah, I saw him. We talked. We had a disagreement.
Yeah.
But when I quit,
Yeah.
Don Jackson was working. I said, you ain't got to quit, man. Keep on working. He said, no, you quit, I quit.
He
Now,
won't
He
quit.
said, now what we going to do?
Yeah.
And like Saladin, who was Sam House.
Oh, yes. I remember
He
saying.
changed the name to Saladin. He was the social service director of CDGM along with me.
Oh, okay.
So he lived
That was a long time.
He
Yeah.
lived in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Okay. Sam was with CDGM when I was in Cleveland with Amston.
Yeah, right. And I was their administrator.
You were area
In
administrator?
Greenwood.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
And Don Jackson
Yeah.
was working with the teachers part. We worked with that department, not the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped working with the teachers part. He's supposed to be working with the teachers part, but he's over there working with us. So,
He had
So when
diabetes
all
real
of-
bad. Yeah.
They said, when all of us quit, Sam want to go home. He want to go back to Pittsburgh. He
Yeah.
had no car, no money.
No nothing.
The only thing he had was he had gas money.
Yeah.
So with Muhammad, him and his wife.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, I got a little money I saved,
Yeah.
and I got a car. I'm the only one got a car.
Yeah.
Y'all got to get home.
Yeah, right.
Hmm?
You took them all home?
Yeah, I said, all right, I'm gonna drop you off
Yeah.
in Pittsburgh, then go over and drop you off, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna stop in DC to see my sister.
Oh, yes.
See, I said, this is what I'm gonna do. I went and dropped him off in Chester, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
and I just dropped Sam off in Pittsburgh and got stopped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the car broke down.
Car broke down.
I mean, I had to stay here. I stayed in Pittsburgh about 6 months.
Mm.
We were working with the University of Pittsburgh.
You
Black-
did? You
black-
stayed up there that long?
Then,
6 months?
Yeah, you know, for the Black Studies, Sam and I introduced a Black Studies program at the University of Pittsburgh.
Uh-huh. Okay. Do you ever hear from him? I haven't heard from him in years.
I called him before the conference.
You did call him?
Yeah, he said he would come in, but you know, he kind of low sick.
Kind of what?
Sick, you know.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't seen Sam House in long time. Oh. I remember when he left here. I didn't know that you drove him, but I remember when he left. Mm-hmm. Right. And now, when did you go to work with MAP? Was it MAP or Friends of Children?
Friends of Children and Child Development. See, MAP came in
After CDGM went out.
No, it went after it. During the time we were working.
Yeah, right.
The MAP was introduced to offshoot what we were doing,
Exactly.
you know, with the Child Development.
Right. Exactly.
We were
That was its purpose.
organized a program
Yeah.
based upon low income,
Mm-hmm.
people to do the teaching.
Yeah.
It was low income, you know.
Right.
The family, older people, low income people who work with the children.
Mm-hmm.
They have to go to college, no degree. We felt that they can feed and make sure, because our job is to make sure the food get there. My job is to make sure the food gets to the centers. And each kid,
Mm-hmm.
it was the teacher's job to make sure each kid have medical attention.
Yeah.
And that was, and the only thing that the teachers and the teachers' aides had to do, is to make sure they get that.
Yeah, right.
See, because we had transportation people to pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
But to do the, you know, the classroom, you know, the other nursing part of that. But the program, we were doing a good job of that. And we were involved in churches, we were involved in people in the community, we had a whole slew. We couldn't take care of all the work that needed to be done, you know, all the children that needed to be taken care of.
Right.
That was the main purpose, make sure they have medical and food, these nutritional food. So the state, we had no connection with the state, with the education system
right.
in the state.
Yeah, I know.
The state offered to help us, you know, but we had people who, you know, who were national, you know, doctors, PhDs in education, and so we had that. But the state wanted a piece of that action,
Right.
the program.
Exactly.
So we had to be certified by the state of Mississippi in order to have a decent thing. So they came up, and so, you know, they, in opposition to what we were doing, they came up with MAP. And you know, and Senator Eastland and the Senate were talking about, we were spending so many $1 million in my state, and the state, and they don't have nothing to do with it. And you got some people on there like Jessie Harris and Black Arthur Cotton, all them communist agitators over there, getting state funds.
Getting state money.
You know, can't
Well, getting poverty program money. Yeah. Actually, you weren't getting state money.
Yeah, you know, the poverty.
Yeah, poverty program money. Yeah, you're getting federal money.
So they had to come, you know, they had to put together an organization in opposition to what we were doing.
Exactly.
And they did, they got
And Aaron was a part of that.
They got Aaron Henry,
Mm-hmm.
and they got Dr. Shirley.
Yeah.
They got people that had worked with us
Right.
in this, you know, in the early 60s.
In the early 60s.
They got people that worked, and then they began to put them together. And they came up with what they called MAP.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they even got my wife when I was married, see.
Mm.
They in fact got her right up under me and put her in position.
Mm.
You know, and she was in opposition to what I was, you know.
Mississippi Action for Progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, I remember that. I do. Okay, so after, was that the last Head Start program you worked with? MAP?
Not MAP. CDG.
No, not MAP, I'm sorry.
Well, the last one.
Friends.
Yeah.
You went from CDGM?
I went from CDGM to Hines County,
Yeah.
Hines County Head Start,
Orange County Head Start.
and to Friends of Children.
Friends of Children. Okay.
Yeah.
And Mangum was the director then?
Yeah, he was director.
Okay. And after you left Friends, which way did you go?
We went to Pittsburgh.
You went to
Yeah,
Vicksburg?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, you went to Pitt, oh, that's when you went to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Oh, when you took house and,
When I took over, on the back on.
house and,
Yeah.
Mohammed Kenyatta.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you stayed 6 months
In Pittsburgh.
in Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I
okay.
got snowed in.
You can say. But the car wasn't running.
Man, you know, the car broke down.
Yeah.
See, I could have caught a bus.
Yeah, right.
Train, whatever. But I was actually stayed at Sam actually stayed.
Damn ashes said.
They were getting together on a series of programs at the University of Pittsburgh, which he was involved with.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was introducing a black study program, doing research. Black,
Bell. Was
you
he
remember when the black
Professor
study
Bell?
program came out all over?
Yeah, oh, sure.
He put that project together.
But there was a Professor Bell, was it Bell, from Pittsburgh, at the University of Pittsburgh during that time? Black dude.
I met a lot of people.
Okay. Because he came down here,
Yeah,
the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, I know some.
Because Frank Hudson went up there and I think he went to school up there for a while. You know Frank Hudson?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know some more people that came out of University of Pittsburgh came down to work
Mm-hmm.
right after the summer project.
Mm.
They came down to do some work with the Federation.
With the Federation?
And the corporation.
And PPC, yeah.
See, a lot of people did come. See, a lot of people came to demonstrate,
Yes, right.
participate,
Mm-hmm.
like the Freedom Ride. Those that came to the States, some, they came to work on Pacific Project. And when they went back home,
Yeah.
they supported that project.
They supported that project.
That they started.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
That's like the whole Freedom School concept in Sunflower County now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That came out of the Freedom Summer Project.
Okay. Did you go to school with Maglon?
Yeah.
Y'all went to school together?
We went to Lanier together.
Uh-huh.
In fact, we came out together.
He did what?
We graduated together.
You graduated together? Oh, okay.
See, I came out of Lanier into the Freedom Ride.
You did a bit.
They were my political education side.
I hear you. All right. And then you left Pittsburgh and you went to D.C. How long did you stay in D.C.?
The last time I didn't stay in D.C. My
You didn't?
sister lived in D.C. I just
Oh,
stopped
you
by.
just went by and visited?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
okay.
came back.
Uh-huh.
Came back to Jackson.
Yeah.
When I got back to Jackson, I started working with what did I do? Later,
Hmm?
I started working for myself.
Oh, you
I
did?
started working. I picked up my brake hammer and my trowel.
Is that
my
right?
level.
Start laying
I
bricks?
started doing working on my trade,
Mhm.
my skills.
All right.
And I did that from
Okay. All right, I'm out of tape.
I wrapped it up, man.
Hmm? Yeah, did 2 tapes.
Well,
You want to do some more?
no.
You got enough?
That's enough for a while.
Is that enough? Okay. All right. Run up there and turn the red button on. Run. Mr. Jesse, that's all right. I finally got you. Just press the red button, that'll turn it on. Okay. And then take the little green button.